Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Running around in a marauder's attire. You're liable to get... It's in poor taste. Dressing up like a marauder ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself... Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. Name's Silas. Junior in... Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite to... Company policy. If it was up to me, I'd put the whole town 10 feet under, free of charge. 4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He just is. Look...
Huh? What?
It's working.
Keep your distance, friend. Sick house is no place for a traveler.
I appreciate the company and all, but you really ought... Because I'm sick. You don't... I'm in about as much trouble as I can be. No reason you... Figured it was obvious. I got sick. Maybe you don't know this, but there's a real simple reason you don't talk to the plagued. Don't. Please. That's kind of you to say, I suppose. But I don't need help. Company always tells us, weak spirits lead to weak bodies. If I didn't want to fall sick with plague, maybe I should have worked harder. I really wish you wouldn't say those sorts of things. I'm feeling a touch faint.
Who's that?
Merciful law. Is that a marauder's outfit? I don't want you wandering into my shop. Please don't touch anything. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. No, thank you. That's quite all right. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet... You will also report to me in the event of your death. Burial, in the unfortunate event of a fatality. It's what a... Ah, gravesite fees. Silas... As broke as pie crust, friend. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity... I have to be, if only to prepare myself for my inevitable dressing. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep the... Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind... Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything...
I just earned a fine bonus!
Another day at the cannery.
Don't go knocking your work. At least we've got work.
It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. And before you ask, I'm all out of deluxe. You ought to go have a talk with the boss, Reed Thompson. Go right. Other than yourself, definitely the vicar. Don't get me wrong, he seems a decent man, but there's something about him that bothers me. Like he's not... What, you mean Edgewater? That's a peculiar... It's, fine and dandy. Couldn't be happier. Wouldn't want to spend my... You are condescending to me, and I do not care for it. I don't get paid for banter. Music to my ear.
The latest report?
Just gotta keep our heads up.
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
I don't know you. We don't welcome. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. Am I that easy to read? Yeah, we've been having some problems lately. Loyal. If you're gonna have a drink, I'd like to ask that you do it within the premises. Traitors. The lot of them. Bunch of folks decided they were tired. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Coming right up. Oh, I almost forgot. We'll get you mostly drunk at half the... Do you now? And what makes you think... You want to talk to Mr. Thompson, try ignoring your duties. He'll... It is a good thing. If you're not pulling...
Almost lost a finger in the cannery today.
I know how you feel.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Oh, sweet merciful. There a reason you're running around outfitted like one of those... Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. You some sort of wandering alienist? Walking into a... What? No. Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That... I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching. It's plague. Has to be. Silas knows. He knows I got... You are? Oh, wow. I'll pay your fees. I don't want any trouble from Silas. But if you could see your way to freelancing for me... There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful. I need you to break in. You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh. Just keep your head down when you're in there. Marauders have
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy. Excuse me. I'm Esther Blaine, Spacer's Choice Actuary. I overheard your Abernathy is a well-known hypochondriac. Anthracillin is wasted on him. All I'm saying is Abernathy's worked in this town longer than some of us been alive. How do I put this gently? He's a... I probably shouldn't tell you. Don't want you implicated. Alright, here's a summary. Lot of sick people in this town. Can't reach out to corporate without crossing a river of red tape. Something like that. Look, I'm not in the habit of That's all I can...
some sort of freelancer?
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy. Foreman Granger. Mind those words don't come out of your mouth unless preceded by... Shit. Silas still on about that? Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. If you're not familiar with board law, you ought to be. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative. Shame, though. Eugene woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding reception. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon did. Not half as awful as the... Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism. I'm plenty serious. In fact, I'm a little upset Eugene didn't think things through. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice. Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his...
Move along. I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out of your pay.
Ease off the threats, friend. I'm going.
Boss's orders. We all got quotas to make.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit?
I'm not holding out hope.
What can I do? Oh? Am I in the company of a... Experience was my teacher. Experience and... Go ahead. The plague's come at us with a vengeance this year. I wouldn't call them good workers, mind you. If they... Fever, chills, fatigue, aching, vomiting, an excess of phlegm. Whatever it may be, I have developed my own company policy, friend. We don't have... Mr. Thompson's brainchild. Have you met him yet? As the good vicar says, work fortifies the spirit of a man. The plague's come at us with a... Nature is monstrous, friend, and this...
Thank the law. I've been requisitioning backup for months. Guess the boss finally came to his senses. You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the Resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling. I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold heart. Just my luck. I asked for backup in the auto-mechanicals. Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant, clattering about, firing at the birds, orchestrating their uprising. When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? I've been gathering up a war chest over the years. Saw tuna cans, mostly, some Spacer's chaw, few bit cards. I'll reward you. Enlistment fees. They have sent a scout, prowling around. The scout must not be permitted to return to its base of operations. Mechanicals got a weak spot in their midsections. I think that...
Grave digging's a fine profession. Always work to be had, and nary a word of complaint out of your clients. You run into any... Conrad's barbershop is a yawning pit that swallows his every bit. You gotta put the squeeze on Conrad. That's the word, extortion. Yeah? Former people, yeah. Marauder's been raiding my grave. Oh no. They are after the most precious loot of all. Spacer's Choice Company property. If those Marauders swipe any more bodies out of my cemetery, company's gonna dock my pay. Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise,
Searching for repair bay. Error. Damage to navigation systems detected. Attempting to. Navigation systems have determined this location, attempting to misdirect or confuse a spacer.
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Heard Marauders got in.
Just between us, Wilson deserted. Lost his nerve. Ran off in the thick of night.
Hey.
Been eating nothing but saltuna for a year.
I've got some time. Thanks. Here. Something for your trouble. Nothing personal, but... You do have some cheek on you. Lucky for you. Somebody deserving. Silas on account of him being out in the cold. Amelia seeing how she's around people all the time. Oh, I'm a technical...
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The can's bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting Saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Seems we've got to get... Really now, Parvati, I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival. You were saying...
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just... old.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. My apologies. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. Shirt, pants, work boots, company-approved color. Of course not. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wit.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer.
I beg your pardon. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I have... Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power... There's a power regulator in the old botanical. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once they're... I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally and... No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's... Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's... That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too... We belong to one community. The Spacer's Choice...
My dad told me all about the plant. I mean, if that's all right.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holt. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am
Great!
Well, I am glad to hear that.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk. Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And it's just... Mr. Thompson has it. Oh, he ain't a liar. It's just... he doesn't know... To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max is... The mission's on the east side of town. You can't miss it. Thanks. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right... That's what my dad used to say anyway. Yeah, huh? That's on account of how I don't... She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the camp. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy